If you're wondering what the election will bring, maybe you'll find your answers in the stars. The Kansas City Stars poll on major elections. The results show Mitt Romney winning Missouri despite the paper's endorsement of President Obama, and Claire McCaskill edging out Todd Akin in the race for the Senate. Governor Jay Nixon seems headed for re-election, as do Lieutenant Governor Peter Kinder and Attorney General Chris Koster. Again, these are poll results, not our predictions. The Missouri ballot has more than candidates. It also contains issues, and one of particular interest to Kansas City, it's Proposition A, that if approved would give St. Louis control of its police department. So how does this St. Louis issue have an interesting effect on Kansas City and the future operations of its police department, Woody?
Well, our two police departments, for completely different historical reasons, wound up being governed by boards selected by the governor, subject to the advice and consent of the state Senate. The only major cities in America that are governed in this fashion. The mayor of St. Louis put it on the ballot, and an overwhelming majority of St. Louisans said, we want control of our police department away from the state. I was part of a lobbying team that worked very hard to get this on the ballot. And so St. Louis, the state of Missouri is going to vote on whether to let St. Louis run its own police department locally. That will, if it passes, and it looks like it will, leave Kansas City as the only city in America that doesn't get to do that. And of course, that will lead to some effort to change that and be self-governed. As Tony's Kansas City noted, however, there is not the same unity among interest groups in Kansas City that there largely was in St. Louis. Other than the police union, pretty much everyone in St. Louis was on board with this. That's not necessarily the case in Kansas City. So it's going to be an interesting process to see whether Kansas City gets to that point.
In fact, Tony's Kansas City said there are different interests in the urban core, dividing support over this question of local police control by the city. Are you aware of those splits, Gwen?
Well, I'm aware of the Kansas City Jobs with Justice. I think there's a Missouri Jobs with Justice organization that has, well, actually initially supported the St. Louis the proposition, and was being an advocate for Kansas City as well. And so I think there's been a changing of their position on that. And from what I could gather, based on they're feeling that there will be a lack of transparency with respect to misconduct among police officers or something. And I don't know. I don't share that opinion. I am still for local control of the Kansas City Police Department, and I'm hoping that Mayor James will really exercise some strong leadership in this endeavor.
We don't have to have a statewide vote for Kansas City to get control, do we? Can't that be done by the legislature? An act by the legislature?
Yeah, right. To me, in fact, that is the best thing possible is to go to legislature next year after St. Louis gets its local control and say, okay, it's time to make the switch in Kansas City, and let's do it, and the legislature approves it. Now, I've written for years that there are problems with this from some of the people who like to pull the strings to get either their buddy elected to, or put on by the governor to the police board. You also have some of the local corporations, and not just the urban core. There are some heavy hitters in Kansas City who are against it. I don't care. It's time for this change. People, what is wrong with you? We need to have local control of this department.
It ought to be a done deal. If those issues are real, then they can be handled locally.
And I think the Stars poll suggests it will pass handily in the state. Let's go on now to, we want to get these others in. Prop B, state tax increase on cigarettes, 63 cents a pack. Money would be used in part to fund education and health education.
The Russians are starting to become interested in taxing cigarettes, you know, and the rest of the United States.
Well, that makes it a good idea.
It's time. Well, no, it indicates some global interest in sanity, Woody. We have the lowest tax in the United States on cigarettes. It's preposterous. It's really immoral in a sense because the tax on everybody else, on property and sales and so on.
Falwell.
No, I will give my opinion, Woody, and I hope you respect it on this issue, because guess what? We pay, the funds from this tax will go into education, and it is specified. Read it on the ballot issue. the taxes.
Have we heard that before?
we've heard that before.
Well, we
was it
have, but
casinos?
as a matter of fact,
Okay.
come on.
That's the whole
Come on.
basis of the campaign
No.
against it is we've heard this before and
yeah.
it didn't
Well,
happen.
Okay,
they're
That's what you
wrong.
get for lying.
They're wrong.
Prop
gonna
E.
pass.
Prop E says neither the governor nor any state agency can establish a state-based health insurance exchange
Oh, please.
without a vote of the legislature
this is
or the
this
people. This is in
Obamacare
reference
crap.
to Obamacare.
Yes, come
Yes.
on. It's ridiculous. It's just this far right-wing effort to attack Obamacare, which is ridiculous. And so unfortunately, though, it's just like Missouri. We've gone so crimson so far to the red, to the right, and to the red that it's gonna pass.
People in the state.
So if this health insurance
Want it,
exchange
that's
as part of
right, but-
Obamacare
Yes, it is.
cannot be, no, I said as part of that,
Yes.
can't be set up by the state, why, I think
It
the
will
law
be set
says
up
the
by the
federal
federal
government
government.
will
Yeah, I
set
know,
it up.
exactly.
Yes. Yes,
It didn't
will,
say it
because-
can't be set up. It says it
Takes a
cannot
vote
be set
of
up.
by a vote of the legislature or a vote of the people.
Exactly. So that the governor, who is a Democrat, doesn't get to do it on his own. He's got to go to the legislature.
But the point is, I think
what's
in
the
any
point?
case,
What's the point?
regardless of the
It's
outcome of
ridiculous.
this election on Tuesday, if Obamacare continues to exist and is not repealed and replaced by President-elect Romney,
please.
then we'll
day
we'll
one.
have
Day
these
one.
health
Day one.
insurance exchanges in
very
Missouri
first thing he-
run by the federal government, right?
Yes.
Yes, of course.
Great. Let's
Yes.
vote.
Of course, right.
Vote yes.